JB here, June 22nd, 2022. Just going to get on the audio quick. Doing my watch list for the last hour or so. Go to click the edit button and it just erased on me. So I figured the easiest way to redo it would get on audio, and I'll try and get on audio after the open. But first, really quick, talk about the market. You saw the market rally on yesterday, kind of a relief rally. We had the biggest weekly decline since March 2020. So it was kind of a relief rally. A lot of these names that have been destroyed started to make some nice upside moves. Some of the names I'm watching, of course, ROKU, Spotify, all did really well yesterday. Posted at the end of the day that I wouldn't be surprised to see it just evaporate and we have some type of 2% gap down just because, right? And sure enough, that's what the market has given us. Hopefully it can recoup some of the morning losses, get back over that 370 handle on the SPY, and we can start to head higher. We have Fed Chair Powell's going to speak in front of the Senate Banking Committee today, and then he's in another one of those, the Finance Committee, tomorrow, I think it is. We'll see how that all plays out, but the biggest part of what happens is usually he puts out a prepared statement. So if that comes out at 9:30 or what have you, that might move markets a little bit, and then it's just questions from committee members, and a lot of times it's posturing. They want to make themselves look good, so they'll ask these crazy questions. A lot of times it makes those committee members not look very smart, but it's almost like comedic relief. So I don't know if I'll watch it, but certainly something to pay attention today and tomorrow. But again, I think the biggest market moving catalyst would be today's prepared statements and any, opening remarks from Powell. So that's that. So I ended those Roku calls. I've loved Roku since it was right after its IPO. I think it IPO'd in the fall of 2017 or 16. I used to think it was just a hardware company. All it did was provide sticks to plug into your TV so you can stream services, and then they turned that platform from a hardware platform to a software platform where they just monetized using advertisers to subsidize that business. Just a great story. Stock all the way, I think, went up to 350, $400, all the way back down here. It's at 87 and change here in the pre-market. Who knows, as the market gets reset, all these valuations get reset. Who knows what the valuation is on Roku? Is it $50? Is it $200? Who knows? But I do think that the future of the way people get their content on their TV shows, their movies, all that is through streaming platforms. And if you're looking at the number one streaming platform on the planet, that's Roku. They continue to develop partnerships. Just had the Walmart news last week where customers can actually purchase products on the Roku platform from Walmart. That's great news. You had rumors of Netflix, which, if you don't know, Roku was a Netflix product. If if Anthony Wood didn't leave Netflix, Roku would be part of Netflix. So who knows if eventually Netflix is looking, because they're going to go into the ad space, right? They're going to eventually start to provide ad-provided content on their platform, on their app, and their platform will be on Roku and other places. But is that the start of a possible buyout of Roku from Netflix? Certainly not out of the realm of possibility. And then you take a look. He was on the, CNBC's in Cannes. He was on an interview this morning with CNBC talking about some statistics. 18% of the ad revenue on TV. Let's see if I can find the exact quote. But only 18% of the ad revenue is on the streaming platforms, whereas more than 50% of all the content that's being that people are watching is being streamed. So if only 18% of the advertisers are paying on the content that's 50% streamed, eventually, 80, 90, 100% of all content is going to be streamed. How is Roku not going to be a big or a huge beneficiary of this transition? So we'll see how this all plays out, but I'm not going to sit here and say, Roku's $130 or $140 stock, because it's hard to put valuations on all these names that have been destroyed, because obviously the market's saying, no, it's not $130, $140 stock. But if there's companies that are going to really do well in the coming years, debts come down, they're a cash cow as their platform business, so as they don't sell as much hardware, and all they're concentrated on is monetizing their platform, where they have huge subscriber growth. I think it just bodes well for Roku. So able to lock some of my calls in to cover costs yesterday. I might look for some later dated 110, 120 July or even August strikes to play for a move to the upside on Roku. That's Roku. BPT, huge reversal day after, I think it was 3 days in a row. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday sold off as oil prices kind of sold off, and the entire sector sold off, which doesn't make sense because if you look at BPT, as long as oil stays over $100, the dividend's going to be huge. People are going to look for ways to offset what's going on with rising rates and all that fun stuff. So you're looking at a company that has a 25 to 30% dividend yield if oil's over $100. If it's 110, 120, it's going to be even more than that. So I wouldn't say it's comical that BPT sells off on lower oil prices, but here it is down. It's gapping down at $21 this morning. Hopefully recoup some of that, heads back into the 22s, and I think it's in the mid to high 20s in the next week or so, if not higher, in the coming months. And I may look for some I don't even know if there's August strikes now. Let's see if they added those up on a. Yeah, so August 30s they're 55 by 85. You look at the September 35s, 40 by 65. Those might look interesting, because even if there's some kind of truce with the war in Ukraine, this oil situation is going to take some time to play out. And I think oil is going to be over $100 for quite some time. Although I hate oil, I wish it was back at $20, but that's not the case. So I'm here to trade. I'm not here to trade my opinions or bias. I'm here to trade what's going on, and I think oil stays over $100. So that's BPT. What else do we have? So so Sage. I don't know if I've talked too much about Sage on the audio. I've put it on the watch list, but just a crazy story. Now that's down here at $34. It trades less than cash. So I think they have $1.6 billion in cash on hand. Let's see if I can find out how much they have. Their market cap is at this exact moment. And it's $1.87 billion market cap. But then you have Biogen, and Biogen bought a 10% stake in the company at $104 a share. They are also on the hook if the drug that they're both cooperating on partnership-wise comes to market, which they accelerated the filing, and they're on the hook for $1.6 billion in royalty payments. So if you're Biogen, why would you just not buy the rest of your stake and go from there? So at some point, I'll look to re-enter Sage. Had some freebie June strikes. They expired last Friday. I'll look to enter that, re-enter possibly some July or later dated strikes on Sage. IBM, what to say here? Another name that pays a hefty dividend. I think that's some of the reason why it's kind of averting a huge move to the downside, because it's people looking for some value plays. If the market finds a bid, at least in the next couple of days, I think it's back over 140. Going to need some help for the 150s. I'm trying to think of some other names. There's positive news with Tandem, right? So diabetes, they're looking at, let's see if I can find the news here. That just came up after I was doing a watch list. How come I can't find it? Where is it? Let's see if I can find it here. So the Senate's going to unveil a bipartisan bill that would curb high cost of insulin, according to Washington Post. You take a look at some of the afflictions and things that are out there they're not going away. And diabetes, type 1, type 2, it's just not going away. And Tandem, it's down here 50-something bucks. I just don't get it. Dexcom and PDD, I think was a pod. What's the name of that company? Is it PODD? Yeah, Insulet is the name of the company. Omnipod is a product. Rumor was that Dexcom was going to buy them out. Dexcom provides the software and the apps for folks who have diabetes to, back in the day, you used to have to prick yourself. It was a whole process. Now it's just an app. And Dexcom was there was rumors they were looking to acquire Insulet. And then Tandem, which I think is, it's a niche market. I just don't understand how there's not been any consolidation in there. Abbott, maybe they go out and buy Tandem. Who knows? But a name that I'll be watching today, because I think with this possibility of, some intervention from government, maybe that bodes well for some of these names. Anyway, we have 4 minutes to the open. I'll try and get back. Sorry about the watch list. This will be posted later. Let's have a great day, folks. Rock and roll.